ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Murdle, or should I say Murdle Mystery. Today's episode, The Curious Case of the Golf Gloves. I gotta say this right. Deductive Logico had hoped to enjoy a nice evening at the expensive country club, but unfortunately a tennis pro had to go and get murdered. So what we have here, we have four suspects. We have the Duchess of Vermilion. Then we have the Dean, which I gotta figure out how to pronounce this name. Then I forgot how to pronounce the chef's name. I think it was Chef Aubergine. Aubergine. It doesn't have an R sound in this. It has an AU in the beginning. Lastly, we have Grandmaster Rose. And then we got weapons such as the Greenkeeper's chainsaw for some reason, a bookie, a golf club, and a bottle of wine. And right now my doggy just got up, and I just need her to sit down because I don't want her to do anything bad. She doesn't do anything bad too much, but I just don't want her to get out of her seat just yet because it's not time to eat, I suppose. And also I just got up. And I'm trying to get myself together. I'm still a little bit stiff in the neck. A little bit achy, but I'm trying to get better. The dining hall, the tennis courts, the men's lounge, and the pool. That's the locations. I almost about to say rooms, of course. Lastly, we have motives. The motives are to rob the victim, to see what it felt like to kill, which I don't know why that is, to win an argument, or to escape blackmail, which definitely kind of resembles a motive from Clue, because they're trying to escape the blackmail from Mr. Body. But this isn't Mr. Body. This is a tennis pro who got murdered because for whatever reason. Now, before I get started, I'm going to read this. Each suspect brought one weapon to one location, and they each had a motive to kill. But only one was a murderer today. Logico began with what he knew for sure. So let's see if there's any evidence. No, there's no evidence, so we don't know nothing. All we have is clues. But before I get started, I need to pronounce this person's name, which is the Dean. Come to find out that this person's name is Dean Glaucus. Alright, so Dean Glaucus had a weapon made of rubber. So, let's find out what that is. It's the golf clubs. It's definitely the golf clubs. So we're going to check mark that. But we don't know if that is the weapon. That's the only problem here. Now this case is very difficult because there's no actual evidence that is highlighted in a different color that could tell me otherwise. A golf glove was discovered under a fine cloth napkin. So a golf glove, not club, glove, was discovered under a fine cloth napkin. Does it have something to do with the location? Maybe. Just maybe. If it's golf gloves, that means that the weapon has to be a golf club. And it was discovered in a fine napkin. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so I don't know. And also, I will definitely be using hints in case if I get really, really stuck. Because I don't know for sure. The person with the Greenkeeper's chainsaw wanted to escape blackmail. So we don't know who the person is. But we know that But we know that the chainsaw was used to escape blackmail. I'm not going to cross that out because I'm definitely uncertain of this clue. A glass detector gave a positive reading on the chef, which I could only mean that the chef was not the killer. Chef Aubergine. I think that's how you pronounce it. An anonymous source that Logical trusted passed him a message that reads something that I cannot read, but so let's decode it. And of course, it does not work. So, let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. Okay, so I'm trying my best to decode this, and so far all I see is fake. And well, I also realized that this is gold. Fake gold. And I believe that this will be a flake of fake gold. So, I want to say Saul, but I'm gonna put was. And this. And was discovered. And this one's a hard one. This one is the hardest one. I'm trying to figure out this word, and this word. Okay, so I actually finally figure out this information. A flake of fake gold was discovered beside a glass of Bourbon. I don't know what that means. Um, but I use a website called Words Unscramble to unscramble the words. But let's just find out which one has a. I think something is made of glass. It could be the bottle of wine. It could be the bottle of wine. But I genuinely do not understand what's had anything to do with anything. Whoever wanted to win an argument had brown eyes. So one of these suspects has brown eyes. So let's check that out. The Duchess has gray. The Dean has brown. The Chef has blue. And Grandmaster Rose has brown. So one of these two are trying to win an argument. It's either the Dean or Grandmaster Rose. The person who wanted to rob the victim, I'm trying to say victim, the person who wanted to rob the victim was at the pool. So let me see which one is the pool. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we don't have enough information. No, siree. However, we do have statements. Then, while stroking his magnificent eyebrows, he took the statements of the four suspects, knowing the innocent would always tell the truth, while the guilty one would always lie. By deducting which of them must be lying, Logical would be able to identify who done it. So this is Duchess of Vermilion stated. Chef Aubergine brought a bottle of wine. So it has to be true. Then we have the dean stating that Duchess Vermilion did not bring the golf clubs, which that's also true because he has the golf clubs. The chef says, "I am a humble chef. I I know of this Grandmaster Rose brought a bookie." Let's see, one of them has to be lying. A bookie was not in the dining room. Or the dining hall. Excuse me. So it's not in the dining hall. And unfortunately, that means we're still stuck. That means we're going to use a lot of hints on this case. After consulting the forces, I'm getting a strong indication that the golf clubs, uh, and someone winning an argument and stuff. I'm getting a strong I can't pronounce this word, between the bottle of wine and someone who wanted to rob a victim. So I'm going to assume that the bottle of wine has something to do with robbing a victim. I don't know how it's possible. Let's see, what is this? I'm seeing it seems that the Duchess of Vermilion was standing in the men's lounge. The men's lounge. Hmm. We don't have a lounge. Oh, yes we do. So the Duchess of Vermilion was at the men's lounge. But why though? It seems if you ask me that the chef clearly clearly was driven by desire to rob the victim. Which means that the chef has the bottle of wine. We don't know exactly where. Was this? I'm seeing. It seems that Grandmaster Rose was standing in the tennis court. Okay, what's next? Uh, let's see. What is this? I'm seeing. It seems that the chef was standing in the pool. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. The chef was standing in the pool? Let me check to see if it's accurate. I'm getting a strong echo of the bookie and someone wanted to see what it feels like. So, okay. I don't know why I haven't said anything, but I'm having a hard time. So, the chef has the bottle of wine. We already established that. But who is actually telling the truth? The force is telling me that a bookie somewhere in the men's lounge. So that means that the bookie was not in the dining hall, which Grandmaster Rose was telling the truth. She was telling the truth. The bookie was not in the... It was at the men's lounge for some reason. I don't know why. Now this is where it gets really confusing. But who brought the bookie? The chef clearly was driven by desire to rob the victim. So the chef has the bottle of wine, and his desire, or the chef's desire, is to rob the victim. Okay, what's next? The tallest suspect, and it seems like they have a bookie in their hand. So let's see who is the tallest. We go to our suspect cards to find out. 5'9" for the Duchess, 5'6" for the Dean, 5'2" for the Chef, 5'7" for Grandmaster Rose. So, this could possibly mean only one thing. The chef was lying. But we don't know for certain who has the bookie. Apparently, it's definitely the Duchess because the Duchess is the tallest, which means that Grandmaster Rose has the chainsaw. So that means that the chef was lying, that Grandmaster Rose brought it. So, the chef is one of the suspects. He did it. How he did it? Well, I gotta make sure if it was the bottle of wine. Excuse me. Uh-huh. The bottle of wine is somewhere in the pool. Okay, so this has got to be what it is right here. I don't know if this is accurate, but I believe that the chef was lying about Grandmaster Rose brought the bookie. Because come to find out in one of the hints, the tallest one has the bookie, which happens to be the Duchess. And the Duchess was telling the truth about the wine that the chef brought, which means that the chef is the murderer with the bottle of wine. And the chef did it in the pool, and the chef's desires, or technically motive, is to rob the victim. And it is correct, but I did have to get some help with these hints, because this is kind of a difficult one. While the chef protested her, which is a female chef, innocence, she lost confidence as Deductive Logico explained the case against her, and she knew she was caught. "I should have cooked you, Deductive Logico," she exclaimed. Deductive Logico watched her to be led away, knowing it was the last he would see of her, and that concludes this case. 23 minutes and 58 seconds, a little bit longer, but it was a hard case. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, be kind to others, and more importantly, have a blissful, wonderful day.